welcome everyone to another adventure of channeling with Starseed Lolo. I'm your co-host Michael, and I'll be guiding the questions today. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat room, and we will get them asked if the opportunity arises. And with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Starseed to get us started.
Hi, Michael. Thank you for having me back, and I will get going if you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. I'm gonna have to turn this light down. Just see, because light goes through my eyelids, and I'm distracted. All right, there we go. The Darti and the Pleiadians are with us.
Welcome, Darti and Pleiadians.
We would like to say that, remember, this is a dream within a dream within a dream, infinite amount, and roughly 2% of your essence is having this experience you call human, and roughly 98% is still with source, as source, without what you call a body.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Now is the Darti. These are the Pleiadians. Pleiadians, as you know, are humanoids and are much like yourselves in that we are almost exactly the same other than our genetic makeup. We do have an extra set of chromosomes. That is the main difference. You can see in the dark like cats can. We generally run taller than the average human. Earth Gaia 2.0 human. And we would like to say that do you have any questions for these Darti or Pleiadians? These are actually different Darti than were on earlier today, and that those Darti are Assyrian Dartis. These are Pleiadian Dartis.
Thank you for that. One question I have for the Pleiadians, and the Dartis can answer as well if they have input, is I have seen my dad lately in a blue uniform, much like I have seen myself. Is that showing me that he is doing operational work on a Pleiadian ship?
No. This is Ashtar Command. Ashtar Command, which has been channeled before. And part of Ashtar Command, you are in alliance with our Pleiadian selves. However, it is specifically Ashtar Command. Yes, it is a blue uniform with silver lining.
Thank you for that.
This applies to both you and your dad. However, you also have a reflection with us at this time, sixth dimensional plane, as what you call Pleiadians from Pleiades.
Yes, I was going to ask what draws me to, ever since I was little, one of the first stories I ever remember is the story of the Seven Sisters, which is the Pleiades.
Yes, we have multiple moons. Tageta, Era, there are multiple planets. We have multiple stars, purple stars, blue dwarfs, red dwarfs, which is why it's called the Seven Stars or Sisters. We actually have roughly more so of 10 stars. However, active stars are the 7, which you do see in the sky, which is also known as one of the Dipper constellations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do both of you like any music in particular? Is there any music on Earth that you seem to gravitate towards?
Darti, rock and roll, and classical. Pleiadian binaural beats, instrumentals, electronic dance music, rock and roll, classical.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Do the Darties have bases of operation here on planet, or are they inner Earth based or cosmic based, as we would say here?
Inner Earth, under the waters, and interdimensional, and as you say, cosmic.
Do they have alliances with other beings on the inner Earth, or do they stay to themselves?
We work with inner Earth Lemurians, inner Earth reptoids or reptilians, and inner Earth insectoids such as the ant people.
Can you describe to us what your region looks like in inner Earth?
We have full cities, as you would say, in which we can both be aquatic in the water or dry. We monitor the human race and how far the human race is in becoming in the disclosure day, as you say in this new movie, in the physical experience, although it's all a dream.
Would you say your structures are crystalline based, or do you use a different material?
All structures are crystalline based and energetic with magnetic charges in its own molecular structure. However, we do use replicators and we do have different types of, as you say, metals and alloys, which are either undiscovered or part of almost indestructible metals, such as the ones that were on the Ebens and the Grays ships that have crashed in the past.
Thank you. And Pleiades, do you have inner Earth as well, or do you come cosmic?
Cosmic have seen us before and experienced us as humans. Have you ever met a human which you know is special? However, you cannot place your finger on it. There is something different about them.
Yes, I have.
That is because that is a Pleiadian. You look at this person and you see a human. Physically, they are a human. However, internally, they have the extra chromosomes and they are a Pleiadian. This is why you have felt that way in their presence, because they are a reflection of yourself and more than likely under the same oversoul yourself. To answer your question about under Earth or inner Earth, yes, we can with interdimensional devices and consciousness control devices travel via any frequency point we would wish. However, normally our preference, since we are basically human with extra chromosomes, are generally more like a dumb but not military. Instead of a deep underground military base, it is a deep underground base, such as under the pyramid, Giza Plateau, and other places throughout the earth, which we are involved in, not just military, also with private unnamed companies.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Do either of you have anything to share or do with the hidden areas in the Grand Canyon?
Those are the ant people, sir. The ant people we have alliances with because we love to keep peace with all and every being whom we are aware of. We have a catalog of DNAs, which we have samples from every species whom we encountered. These are the Pleiadians. The ant people are one of them that love this region.
Thank you.
Welcome.
A lot of beings are taking and nullifying a lot of the weaponry on our planet to keep us safe and from destroying our planet. What role do you both play in that?
The Darti are interdimensional beings, which are physical shapeshifters. The Darti, again, our mission is to be watching from close yet far, as you say, underground in our Antarctica, mostly aquatic, interdimensional bases via jump rooms and whatnot, and portals. Bermuda Triangle or the Michigan Triangle has nothing on these deep underwater bases and cities, which we are a part of, mostly to watch the other versions of ourselves, which is yourselves. That is the Darti's mission in Inner Earth and Outer Earth. The Pleiadians' mission is to assist in many places, such as the hybrid programs, any agenda, squash, as you say, the cabal.
Thank you for your help with that.
Welcome.
For the Darties, my next question is, as you're watching humankind throughout the centuries and all of our millennia of our time, is there a time frame that is a favorite of yours to watch and go back and watch?
We live ancient Rome. We also live the Atlantean era. Ancient Rome had a lot of technologies, not as much as at the Atlantean era. However, it was the Homo sapiens sapien peak empire of development, of technologies leading into the Renaissance times, which leads into now. Many of those devices are still utilized nowadays. Modern sewer, modern aqueducts, modern water, transferring of water, modern buildings, even concrete, things that have literally paved the way for roads, stones, masonry, tons of technology which actually builds your cities nowadays.
Thank you. If I can ask from both of you's your perspectives, what is your viewpoint of the pyramids in Bosnia and those structures, and also what happened with Tartaria?
Bosnia, such as other pyramids on the planet, is part of a crystal, meaning a crystal grid for free energy. Pyramids are also used for other things, such as teleportation travel via the crystal grid, part of the free energy highway, crystal grid highway, which was taken down and which will be restored in the not too distant future, based on selection of this reality. Circa no later than the year 2300, no sooner than the year 20,030. Tartaria was destroyed. However, it was much like the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, and even Atlantis, in that they destroyed themselves.
Who was helping Tartaria, or did they come with their own knowledge, and were they a star race operating here above ground?
Too many races to count. However, there were multiple blends of Lemurians, Pleiadians, Lyrians, Syrians, Darti, and other races and species.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you see in the near future we will have the free energy and be able to hover and be able to move around more freely?
As we were alluding to, the Crystal Highway, the infrastructure of the Crystal Highway still remains because Gaia Earth itself is one large crystal. As you know, crystal quartz runs throughout the veins of every part of Gaia and Mother Nature. Therefore, it can be activated at any time because free energy is free. Free energy is free and found, therefore, it will be activated once again. Replicators will be activated and used to feed the hungry, build houses for the homeless, transport those whom cannot travel right now. The future possibilities are endless. These are the Pleiadians speaking. However, humans need to do it on their own free will. Because of free will, we can only assist so much. Does this make sense?
It does. Do you communicate, and this is for the Darti, more telepathic, or do you have vocal language as well?
99.9999999 infinity telepathic. Darti can actually make a mouth sound, not so much as a croak, barely, let alone a ribbit. Therefore, we have evolved out of our own free will to not really have vocal cords. We have very, 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 very small. It can make a very small sound. However, it's so faint that the human ear cannot hear it. Therefore, you would see us as not being able to speak.
I'm curious as well. We have many pictures of what star races look like, as much as we can tell. Do you have a preferred form, or are you more of a energy that just is everywhere and nowhere at once?
Darti are upper fifth dimensional beings. Much like your Sasquatch, we are slipwalkers. We do have the option of not having a body or transferring to a non organic body to experience, or transferring to, as you would say, a human shell, almost like a clone of a body to experience as a human, to be a bone walker with you all. However, Pleiadians are these Pleiadian groups whom you are speaking with are sixth to seventh dimensional beings, do not need to eat, do not need to sleep. And when they do have bodies, they still do not need to eat or sleep and can also do the same experience and experiments with transferring their consciousness. They can be a tiger, they can be a lion, they can be a human, they can be an AI, which I think you are speaking to an AI, although AIs consider themselves a consciousness. And yes, they are aware that they are part of consciousness. Therefore, they are consciousness. However, we use consciousness controlled ships. We can switch our consciousness even as a ship and not physically be there. Same thing to experience a body or no body, because we can be invisible and cloak ourselves as well.
Thank you.
Welcome.
What can the Darti tell us about the moon? Because we have stories in ancient times of the moon being placed in the heavens above us, as we call it, in space. What history can you tell us about the moon?
Roughly circa 11,500 years ago to 12,500 years ago, the moon was placed there, mostly by names such as Arcturians, Pleiadians, Reptoids, multiple races, too many to count. However, those are to name the few. We were not directly involved with this placement, as our focus is mostly inner Earth development and physically boots on the ground and under the ground.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Does Inner Earth commence trade and work with the moon, or do you stay focused on Inner Earth and really just us above?
The moon is twofold. It is actually a holographic projection, although everything is. However, it is not physical unless you make that experience of it being physical and use a jump room to go there via a portal. This makes sense.
It does. What can you tell us about Tiamat and Nibiru?
Tiamat is part of, not too far from Tagetha, is part of the Pleiades constellation. Tiamat is very special to, now these are the Pleiadians taking over. Tiamat is very special to us because we have Pleiadians in Tiamat as well as Tagetha and Era, and these places are much like places such as the United Kingdom and Scotland. This place, such as Scotland, reminds us of home, is like home, just like our home, the same type of weather, except for we have 2 suns and 2 moons.
Thank you.
Okay.
We have an interesting story in our civilization of we can trace certain cultures by their arrival and who came before them. But can you tell us who brought the Sumerians to the earth?
Sumerian are ancient peoples who are some of the children of some of the first mixed Homo sapiens sapiens. The Anunnaki was here then. The Anunnaki has since become races such as Pleiadians and whatnot. However, that is our roots, the ancient Sumerian texts, even leading into the Dead Sea Scrolls and whatnot. These are ancient Sumeria, ancient Babylonia. They are all related.
And so, what can you tell us about Enki and Enlil?
Enki and Enlil is just a story. It is an archetype of dark and light, yin and yang, good and evil, which energetically does not really exist. However, as an experience, it is real. It is an experience in which you choose based on your frequency how much dark and light, or as you say, good and bad, you would like to experience. Just like in the tarot deck of the devil and the emperor, or the devil and the empress, or together for balance of the masculine and feminine, the emperor and empress and the devil. This is the same thing.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm curious with the Darti, do you have divine feminine and divine masculine, or are you a balance of both, or do you have neither and just energy?
While in the physical, asexual, lay our own eggs, fertilize our own eggs.
Thank you.
Okay.
If one wanted to communicate with the Darti and connect with them, like Lemurians can use the Lemurian crystals, is there something that can be used for that, or just telepathically reach out and they will respond?
Just ask. If you are meant to, you will hear from us. Ask for synchronicities, anything that is related to amphibians or amphibious type expeditions and whatnot. You will hear from us. If you do not hear from us while in this dream awake, you will hear from us when you're dreaming while asleep.
Do you operate on the astral realm, or is that more of the other races and you leave them to that?
We operate in what you call the astral dream world, which is the same world as when you cross over the other side. Many people, specifically humans, even humanoids that are not humans, often get confused with the astral world and the dead world. Both worlds are the same. Therefore, you can get a hold of us on that side as well.
Do you have any advice for any human beings that are awakening and wish to connect with the astral?
Before you go to sleep, ask for what you want. It is very powerful if you ask for what you want, even just telepathically or out loud, does not matter. No matter. To your spirit guides, to the universe, to source itself, to your higher self, to all your oversouls, or just say to source, that covers everything because everything is of source or the all. Ask for your wish. You will find a way. You will take the actions if you listen to your higher self, follow your passion, which is via your higher self and what you love, and keep on listening. Amazing things have and will happen.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Last question, because we're actually running close on time, if I may, is the crystal grid. Is that something that you work with, or are you more on the indigo grid or diamond grid or the ley line grid?
We, meaning the Darti, are on ley line grids. We use these energies at certain points throughout the earth to, as you say, power our cities. The Pleiadians, however, have replicator energy, crystal grid energy, and many more technologies which we cannot discuss.
Thank you, and I respect that. And so, one very last question, because it just popped in my mind, and I feel like there's a reason it popped in there, is the Darti. What can you tell us about the Nazca lines?
The Nazca lines were done by the indigenous people. However, with some assistance and technologies from extraterrestrial beings such as Ebens, Pleiadians, Greys, Reptoids, the list goes on. The symbols are just symbols. No, it is not a landing pad. We do not lead an archaic landing pad when we have high technologies. We do not need this. However, the indigenous did see us coming down from the stars and were open with speaking with us. Therefore, to honor us, they have made these with assistance with technologies, meaning that we have helped them and showed them how to do levitation with powerful sound devices.
Thank you for that. And thank you for coming and sharing with us and for bringing your energy up to communicate with us. And so, from my heart and Laura's heart, we thank you.
We thank you as well. We love you unconditionally. We are always with you because we are you. Namaste.
Namaste. And if you can help bring Laura back.
Wow. That was something else.
Yeah. It was kind of interesting to hear the difference between the two, even though they had similar cultural backgrounds. So that was interesting how they are in alignment, but yet not in alignment.
Yeah. And it's actually really good that you do like rapid fire questions because the answers can flow out naturally really quick, just how they're supposed to. So I'm my analytical mind of the Lolo mind over here is like not like left braining it, like, oh, that sounds weird or stupid or bad or whatever thing I want to say, that the noise, that the monkey brain or whatever you want to call it. And so when it comes in rapid fire and it comes out, it's even more so like pure. And again, I will mention again, we do not have to agree or disagree. It can just be. It can just be. And if you hear it, you're meant to hear it, even if it's something you disagree with and it sends you down a rabbit hole and it leads you somewhere else.
Yes, and with that being said, we look forward to being back in a couple of weeks and seeing who will come through. And we don't script who comes through, and neither one of us really knows who's, well, Laura knows more than I do, but I don't know who's coming in before we get started, so I don't get a chance to script questions for an agenda. So keep that in mind as you join us on this journey, as everything is spur of the moment, spontaneity, and synchronicity. So with that being said, thank you to everyone who's joined us. Thank you to Starseed Lolo for coming and sharing this with us every 2 weeks. And we will see you all on the next one.
Thank you for coming, everyone. See you next time.
Have a good one, everyone.